ask the director. So I thought it was a pretty neat picture. And you still can't hear me. Okay. So I'm going to, okay, can you hear me better? Okay. So Sheila and I were in a meeting, and she shared this picture with me yesterday. And I said, oh, you have to send that to me because I'm going to add it to my PowerPoint today. So this is our mascot for Edgewater. I'd like to welcome you to our monthly meeting. And today we're going to start with Chris Curtis, our chaplain, who has a nice message for us. Welcome, Chris.
That sounds scary, doesn't it? The chaplain has a message for you. I'm like, close the doors, keep them in here. It's real brief. I was in this great little group on Tuesday morning this last week with some of the residents. Some of you were there, and we do it every Tuesday, 9:30, and we just have cookies, we have some coffee, and we just chat with one another, getting to know one another. And this past Tuesday, we focused in on the things that have influenced us over our lives, and then how those influences then affect the way that we are influencing others today. And over the course of the week since Tuesday, I came across, or I was reminded of a quote by a guy named Charles Swindoll. I have it on my refrigerator all the time, and it helps me to remember my attitude. I've got 3 kids, and sometimes that attitude can go south. So I need a reminder quite often of my attitude. And so I thought I'd share it with you. It's a little bit longer of a quote, so please bear with me, but hopefully it will be an encouragement to you today. The longer I live, the more I realize the impact of attitude on life. Attitude to me is more important than facts. It is more important than the past, than education, than money, than circumstances, than failures, than successes, than what other people think, say, or do. It's more important than appearance, giftedness, or skill. It will make or break a company, a church, a home. The remarkable thing is we have a choice every day regarding the attitude we embrace for that day. We cannot change our past. We cannot change the fact that people will act in a certain way. We cannot change the inevitable. The only thing we can do is play the one string we have, and that is our attitude. I am convinced that life is 10% what happens to me and 90% how I react to it. And so it is with you. We are in charge of our attitudes. I hope that's an encouragement to you. I know in the context in which we are right now, it might be very important, and so may we all be able to apply that even now. Thank you so much.
All right, thanks, Chris. I'm going to remember that, too, when you throw tomatoes at me today. I'm going to keep a good attitude.
Yeah, I could put that on the forum, sure. Yeah.
All right, so we have a full agenda. I wanted to just start off by introducing some new residents. We have Don and Jackie. I believe Jacqueline goes by Jackie. Are they here by chance? Ah, there you are. Welcome. And C312 is the correct apartment. Is that correct? Okay, very good. Got one slide right. Okay, call before you drop by. Yeah, what kind of attitude is that? Good one. Okay, and then we have Stan and Sandy. Are they here by chance? They are in A108. We have Elaine. Is Elaine here? A116. And then Ruth. I don't have Ruth's picture, so I don't even know what Ruth looks like. B121. And then we have, I believe he goes by Nate or Nat. Nat, thank you. And Sylvia in C301. And that's it for newcomers. So we don't really have any new department managers to introduce today, but more to come on that because we will have a new culinary director and we'll be able to introduce them as well. So I wanted to just remind everyone that we have this Body Seika challenge that began January 19th. It's a 2-month challenge. How many of you in the audience were brave enough to get on that scale? Okay, I wasn't. So I'm hats off to you. The idea is to improve your body composition during the 60-day period, and at the end there'll be prizes and recognitions along the way. So March 20th is the end of the challenge, and we will share our accomplishments. Okay, so we have a new communication committee, and I just wanted to share a little bit about that. And the idea is that we would like to improve the quality of communication and also reduce our reliance on print material, although those of you who really like and prefer the print material, we will still offer that. And here's a little further details, but we want to make sure the purpose is to be timely, informative, and cost-effective in our communication. It will support myself and other team members with timely communications, and we hope to help you become more digital with your communications. And those of you who don't want to go digital will still have the paper information, and we also want to support other resident committees as appropriate. So a couple early action items. We have begun to offer the journal online, and we have limited printed copies. So if you want a printed copy, just go to the front desk. I'm not sure when they'll be ready for February. They're out. Okay. All right. And then we're going to have these lobby stands eventually. We have them in-house, but the committee's deciding how and when we would use the lobby stands. And that is to reduce the number of inbox notices that you might have. And those lobby stands will be for more urgent information. We'll help you go digital if you would like to go digital, and we'll continue training as needed. So we have this changed. We have 2 staff members and 7 residents, and we're hoping that the residents will stay on the committee for 2 years. And we have selected the committee members, which I'll share in a minute. We had an application process. We met as an ad hoc committee, and then we selected our team. So right now, our team members on this committee are, we have Sandy Edwards on the left, and then we have Mary Carton following. Below Sandy is Kathy Fagan, and then you have myself. Our leader is Bob Taylor in the center, and then we have Amy Freeman on the right-hand side, and below Amy is Marshall Lamel and Ellen Lukowitz. So that's our new committee, communication committee, and we hope that you will give us feedback, and if you have ideas, to see one of us with communication. Kathy, did I miss someone? Hugo. Yes, you know why? I did not have a picture of Hugo. Hugo Ritz, and I have it in my notes here, and I actually was sending Ellen at 6:30 this morning. I said, do you have a picture of Hugo? And she said, I'll look. And then she did not. And so I came into work, and I meant to download a picture that I have on my computer that I couldn't do at home. And so Hugo is missing, and you can see that little spot next to Amy. That's where Hugo's picture will go once we do the minutes. But thank you, Kathy, for picking that, choosing, or letting me know and letting the group know. Is Hugo here? Okay, I need a good picture of Hugo. All right, and then I just wanted to talk briefly about the Green Team. We introduced the committee last month to you, but we are meeting, and we're excited about this committee. And just want to encourage you to take an interest in sustainability, because all of us play a part in that. And sustainability essentially is to try to be a better steward of the resources we're given, and whether that's financial resources, energy, waste, etc. And there's a few things we talked about at our meeting this week. Simply adjusting your refrigerator to a higher temperature can reduce energy costs almost by 25%. So look at your temperature in your fridge and your freezer, make those small adjustments. Also, if you adjust your thermostat by 1 degree, so you make it 1 degree warmer, you can save 3 to 5% in energy costs. So imagine if all 350 of us did that who live here, how much money we could save monthly. So I would encourage you to do your small part, although it adds up, because we have a large group of people living here, to help with sustainability. As part of the committee, we are reaching out to FP&L to find out what audits are available for us. And actually tomorrow I have a meeting with our FPL representative in our corporate office, and she will be reviewing what energy audits we can actually do here, whether it's business audits or residential audits. And from there, then we'll select the audits, and hopefully we'll see an impact with our energy bills. So those are a couple things we're doing, but as we progress, we will share more formally some of the efforts that are being made by our Green Team. In February, our Green Team is going over to St. Andrews Estates. They've had a committee for a couple years now, and so we'll be picking their brains and finding out what they've done, what successes they've had, what failures they've had, and then we'll come back as a committee and form a plan, and we'll share more in the future with you. Any questions on either the Communications Committee or the Sustainability Committee? And Chris has a mic.
When the Communications Committee started, I was approached by someone and said, your monthly letter can't be put in every cubby because it's a waste of paper. My monthly letter goes to everybody in this building as well as the medical building. What am I supposed to do?
So eventually the mailboxes will have some type of identification for those who do not want paper. And so at that point, we could look at eliminating those boxes, but sending it via the forum or whatever mechanism we have at that time to send to those digital subscribers, if you will. Now, I will tell you there's a few things like Marcia Lamel, she's putting the volunteer form in every box because otherwise no one will fill out the forms. And so we are using paper. And Myra, if you feel your notice is important, by all means, until people are more comfortable with digital communication, that would be up to you and the board on how you share your information.
Okay, I will take that up with them.
Thank you.
Susan, when you go to St. Andrews South, would you please check on OBT? I don't know about Willowbrook, but there is no recycling that truly works. I am recycling as an individual. I have a blue bag and I have a yellow bag in my apartment, but that does not work for a lot of people, and it's not going to work once we get into the smaller, once I get into the smaller unit.
Okay, so we can look at and ask how Oakbridge Terrace and Willowbrook Court recycles when we go over. Thank you. Okay. All right, so I wanted to move on to projects, and I like this picture, by the way. And this is what I'm trying to do is share the pictures of the recent photo shoot that we had for marketing. And so you'll notice I changed pictures throughout my presentations, but this is in the bistro. And if you're sitting in the bistro and you look up, you'll notice that there's paint peeling close to the top of the skylight, and it's often very bright, especially in the summer months, very hot, very humid. The paint is peeling because of the condensation and the heat exchange and the cool exchange. So we're going to be redoing the skylight area. We're actually going to be installing screen material that will be inside, and then we're going to repaint that whole clear space, if you will. It's going to mean that this section of the bistro will be shut down for about a month. So we will still have the bistro open, but not in this area, because we have to literally build 36, I believe it is, dome-like screens. We looked at putting a screen on the outside up on the roof, but we have domes, so it wouldn't really work. So we had to build square screens inside, and we have to build them and design them as we go through the project because it may be off square, not totally square, so we have to custom make them. And so that's going to result in this area being shut down for about a month. We may do it in March before the holidays that come in April, or we might do it after the holidays, but before summer. So we're just like looking at dates right now, but wanted to give you a heads up that that project is coming. Susan?
What do the screens protect? What do they do? Why are
They're going to reduce the heat and hopefully the condensation on the walls, and we won't have the peeling of the paint, as well as the brightness. It's so
Okay.
bright there during the day.
Okay. And the second question is, are you going to put some tables out in the lobby or elsewhere? Because on certain evenings, as you know, the bistro's pretty full.
Yeah, I think we can look at where we could put some tables so that people could still dine in the less formal area, because I think a lot of people appreciate a less formal dining experience. Use the winery, good idea. We could look at that and maybe near the piano, perhaps, without creating egress issues. Okay, all right. So as we know, firm dates, we'll let you know. Our Axe Construction branch is actually doing this project. We'll have a lot of control over the project, and we're happy that they're going to be in charge of it. Okay, parking locations, just a reminder, we started booting a couple weeks ago. In fact, it was funny because our parking lot that's between Willowbrook Court and A building has been closed for a long time. It finally was open, and probably 2 or 3 weeks ago, Jeremy Neely, who is an executive vice president of the organization, was here, and he said, asked me about the boot system. I said, oh, well, we're going to start booting soon. And he goes, well, I got news for you. There's 3 cars out front booted. I said, oh, Ross must have started the booting process. So Ross has been threatening the team members that as soon as that parking lot was ready, open, that team members needed to park in the appropriate spots. And by golly, he started booting people. And within less than a week, that front entrance, we had parking spots. First time I've ever seen open parking spots in the middle of the day. So the boot does work, and we're trying to encourage any employees, as well as your privately hired employees, like if you have housekeeping coming in or if you have a private duty aide. We really want them to park in the plain white or yellow spot. No, yellow only. So just yellow. So yellow only. And then if you have guests who are family, friends, people you're not paying, they're instructed to park in the guest spots. And then we will issue them a guest pass, and they'll put it on their on top of their dash so that we can see that they legitimately should be parked there. If they don't put it there, we might end up booting them. And so the idea is that your family and friends should have the best parking here, and those of us who work here should have to walk a little longer to get to the building. Any concerns, questions about that? Yes. I believe so. I'm looking at Ross. Okay, the question is a plain yellow spot. A guest could park in there as well, a non-paid guest. Okay, so your guests who are not privately paid can park in any spot except for the ones that are numbered, because the numbered spots indicate it's been assigned to a resident. Okay. All right, any other questions related to that? Okay. So we're finishing up Willowbrook Court and Oakbridge Terrace, their elevators, and very shortly we're going to open those elevators. Once they're open, eventually we'll be doing the inside of the cabs, and but we'll let you know, and one cab will be done at one time, and then the other elevator will be operable, and then the second elevator will be done. When we're done in that area, we'll be moving to the C building to modernize the 2 elevators in C buildings. So that's our next project that will take place once we're done with Willowbrook Court and Oakbridge Terrace's elevators.
Thank you, Susan. You're the most well-informed executive I've ever met.
Not really, but thank you.
That's all.
Okay.
I'm only kidding. About 2 months ago, I asked about the timing on the completion of that, and the answer was approximately a month. About 2 weeks ago, I met 2 workers on the existing elevator, and they said they just got the part in. It should finish in 2 weeks, which means this past week. Is there any realistic date that you feel, change that? Is there any realistic date for completion of the elevator, and who's giving you that information?
So the elevators that we're currently working on, there was a relay that we had to order, and I think I shared that with you at one point in time, and it finally came in, and now we're doing the inspections. Once all of the inspections are completed and we pass those mechanical inspections, then we'll be able to move to the second elevator, and a lot of the mechanical work is already done because they share a lot of the same systems. And that elevator will go quickly. I don't have dates or times. I don't know, Ross, if you have any at this point. Now, when we get to C building, I think we will have a better process to share with you. Some of the mechanicals have already been done in C building, like the fire pump system has already been updated for those elevators. So it's not going to be as long, obviously, and then we will certainly try to have a detailed calendar or schedule, and we'll share that with you. Okay, and then we did finally finish the parking lot between Building A and Willowbrook Court. We still need to complete the landscaping. There is some debris or rubble that is back in that area, and the company that actually did the paving is coming out to remove that, and then we'll complete the landscaping in that parking lot. So that's the update there. We are almost completed with the EV chargers. That is in the B parking lot area. We have to add signage and detail of the striping there, and we are just waiting on a few more items, and then once that's open, we'll give you more information. If you have a EV car, we'll also provide directions for you personally. Susan? I believe there's 2 chargers. Yeah, there's 2 chargers there. They're together. Yeah, yeah.
One more, Susan. I'm sorry. I apologize. But I noticed that there are quite a few tiles that are broken near the elevator and where they're storing their material. Do you know who broke the tiles? How they were broken doesn't matter. But who's going to pay for the replacement? And when is it going to happen?
Okay, sure. So when we were doing the parking lot between A building and Willowbrook Court, that parking lot, that's typically where all of our deliveries come to the back dock. We have a loading dock there. And during that parking lot project, we had to relocate deliveries to what we call the medical or ambulance entrance, which is the parking lot between C building and Willowbrook Court. And as a result, there were some heavy items that came through in that hallway, and it resulted in the tiles being broken. We can't pinpoint which vendor per se broke the tiles, but really that's the entrance. We allowed them to come in, so it's really on us. So we have the material already. Ross has already issued the PO. As soon as Willowbrook Court's elevators are done, we're going to be replacing all the broken tiles in that area. Thank you. Okay, we talked about the boot. That's kind of what the boot looks like, I believe. Okay, we are going to be adding a recycling bin, likely in that parking lot I've been talking about, and it's called Support by Recycling. It's for used clothing and shoes, and they can be clothing with holes in them. They can be shoes that don't have a sole. It doesn't matter because they're recycling through the textile industry. They're not recycling to give to homeless shelters. They're actually selling the product back to the textile industry. This company is a for-profit company, but a portion of what they make, they will give back to us, and we will donate to our foundation. So it's going to be a small amount of money per year, But twice a year, we will get a check from them issued to the Axe Legacy Foundation, and then we'll submit that to the Legacy Foundation. St. Andrews is also doing this, so both Joy and I worked with this company. They are a local company, but I do want to encourage you that if you have good quality clothing or shoes that you use, the residents who are here, Bob Taylor and Blanca are both, they donate to churches, I believe, locally or homeless shelters. We want to still support their efforts because we do care about the homeless and people who are disadvantaged in our community. So please continue to support their cause. This is simply another avenue if there's items that you would not want anyone to have to wear. This is a good place, and we'll make sure our team members know as well. So we benefit in that the foundation will receive small donations, but we also want our local community to benefit. So please continue to support our residents.
Is it just clothes and shoes or linens like sheets or towels? Is that also?
I believe sheets and towels are fine too. I'll confirm that.
Wouldn't this be part of the green team?
It will be, yes. Yeah, it's part of our sustainability initiatives.
Then anything that the green team gets back in cash, donations, whatever, it all goes to the legacy fund?
Well, the idea is that we want to build the foundation up so that when we have, maybe we want to buy some fitness equipment. We've got money to do it. Or maybe we're going to have a special entertainer. We've got money in that foundation. So the idea is we want to build the foundation up so that we can offset or supplement our budgetary, our budgets that we have available for capital and or entertainment events, etc.
Can you just repeat what parking lot it's going to be in?
It will likely be in the parking lot between A building and Willowbrook Court. And we have to just find a good spot for it, and I have to work with this company to see how do they pick it up, what kind of space they need. So likely in that parking lot, but we still need to talk with them a little further. Okay, and I just talked about supporting our local residents who are collecting as well. And was there a question? Okay. So Blanca also posted on the forum this handout, and I'm sorry, I should have enlarged this, but elder fraud, it continues to be on the rise, and there's lots of scams out there. One of the scams that's super popular is that, you know, grandma, grandpa, I'm in jail, or I've been in a car accident. Someone told us a story the other day that someone called and said, I've been in a car accident. My voice is different because my face was injured, and I need money, and there's all kinds of scams out there, and I just encourage you all to not fall for them. Hang up the phone, call your son, daughter back, and make sure that in fact it truly was a scam, and 9 times out of 10 it really is a scam. I can tell you 2 years ago my husband was scammed. He gave his social security number on the phone to someone, his birth date, and so we actually had to register with all the credit agencies. And last night, as I'm preparing for today, last night I got an alert on my phone in my personal emails saying that there's an alert on one of the credit agencies. I went in there, and his social security is now on the dark web. And if you know what the dark web is, that's where all the crime happens. And so I was able to then put a lock on our credit, so no one can apply for credit cards with his social security number. So it does happen. It happens to, and I can tell you, my husband's not the most trusting person. So why he did that, the person obviously convinced him they were calling for Medicare and they were going to send him new Medicare cards. He didn't know where his card was. He thought that was great. And for security purposes, they wanted his social security number. And he fell for it. And then 10 minutes later called me and said, I think I just got scammed. So it happens to even people who are cautious and people who aren't so trusting, because there's a nice voice on the other side of that phone that we end up believing. So scams are real, and I'll print this copy of this and leave it at the front desk if anyone would like a paper copy as well. Marvin?
It's a good practice to put a credit freeze on with one of the like Experian. You can take the credit freeze off for 24 hours if you want to open a new account, but no one can open an account as long as you have a credit freeze.
And that's what I did last night. So I went into Experian and put a credit freeze on our account, so no one can open any accounts in our name right now.
I also got a scam because I disputed a bill from Apple by using the 800 number on my bank statement. I thought that was safe, but it wasn't. He was trying to talk me into buying credit cards, and I knew right away, and I said, I'm not going to do that. Goodbye. But it was actually on my bank statement, which I would advise people to call the company directly that you're trying to get in touch with. Because even on the bank statement, you can't trust the 800 information.
Very good, thank you. Okay, so now just moving along, Chris already plugged his Tuesday morning coffee, but I'm plugging it as well. So Tuesday mornings at 9:30 in the winery. Please come. Great conversation, and a nice little group of people come and enjoy coffee and treats with Chris. And we have started a second weekly tech cafe. And that second cafe is on Mondays. The next one is February 2nd from 10 to 11 in the winery. And the topic is K4 app as well as Eat apps transition. So if you are interested, please come and Vladimir will show you how to use the app. The second cafe is geared to issues he's finding that you're struggling with. So if you're not struggling with it, you don't have to come. But he's primarily going to focus on areas where he's seeing a trend, a topic that might interest you, and then you can come. But that's the only topic that will be talked about on Mondays. We have a comment.
I talk to people all the time that want to be able to make a reservation downstairs, but they've heard this terrible thing about how you get cut out of times. Now, after Darren leaves or from Philadelphia, I don't know who's in charge of the time limit when you call to make a reservation. Because I was cut out twice this month when I was in the 5:45 schedule, and then at the end when I went to confirm it, it says you were out of time. So I went to the 6 o'clock, and I was afraid of this because I'd already used time, and I was bumped out of that, saying this time is no longer available. And people are afraid of this happening to them because they're new. So is that from Philadelphia, the time limit?
So no, it's actually in the app, and I'm once a month I meet with an IT rep at corporate, and so I plan to ask them if there's any way when you go into the app and you see that 6 o'clock is available, that once you check on it, that freezes it, and that gives you time to get to the bottom, because I think that's what is happening is you see that it's available, you check it, but by the time some are faster than others. By the time you end that cycle, it's no longer available. So I'm going to ask them if they can switch that so that once you're able to check it off, it's yours until you log off. So, and hopefully that will resolve some of that frustration. Okay, there's a mic in the back. I'm sorry.
Susan, I'd like to say how difficult it is, much more difficult than it used to be, to make a reservation. And I would say most people probably in the room are on the dot on the computer at 9 o'clock, and everyone wants a decent time. Some people prefer later, and that's fine. But most people, want 5:30, 5:45, whatever. But you keep getting cut out because on Mondays and Fridays, it's almost impossible to get a reasonable sort of medium time. And I don't know what you can do about it. It seems that there are more people. Obviously, we've got a full house, so we've got more people needing to book and make some sort of booking that suits them. And they're just not the spaces. And last week I got thrown out 3 times from the one that I started, 5:45, and then you're thrown out. Then you have to start all over again for 6 o'clock. Then I was thrown out. Then I did another one. Then I gave up.
And that's why I'm going to bring it up to the IT people to say, what if the box is available and you check it, that's yours until you click out. Because some of us, as I said, are faster on the computer than others. So I think that's the fair way of trying to solve some of that.
Oh, thank you. I've been fighting with this for the last couple of weeks because the top 5:15, 5, and 5:30 are grayed out. You don't even have a chance to choose one.
That's because they're already selected. But
it's before 9. I'm sitting there.
Oh,
before
if it's
9.
before 9, you can't select. You have to wait till 9 o'clock.
I mean, I'm sit before 9 till 9.
Okay.
So I will be able to get one.
So refresh your screen right at 9. Refresh it and see what happens.
It's very strange because I've always used it and I've never had this problem
Try
before.
refreshing it right at 9 a.m. and see if those boxes show up as available.
When I do that, everything fills in automatically except your phone number, and they won't take it without your phone number. So you have to go back and put in your phone number.
Okay, I'll ask if we can get that
Andre
populated.
said when he was here that he could not fix that.
Okay, and I will tell them that's what's slowing it down, and could we have that populated once you put your name in? And then you just confirm your phone number. Maybe there's a way they could populate it, you look at it, it's confirmed, and you check a box.
Susan, when we looked at the K4 app, if you go in through shortcuts to K4, it populates including the phone number because that's how they loaded it. When you go through EDAP, it populates everything but the phone number. Oh. So they're encouraging us to go straight through shortcuts.
Okay, try shortcuts on your K4 app. And if you're not familiar with K4 app, Tuesday, February 2nd, come see Vlad and he'll get you hooked up to K4 app. Okay, now I'm going to ask Chris to plug our celebration of life. I'm putting him on the spot.
All right. So this coming Monday, that's February 2nd, may feel familiar to you because it's Groundhog Day, February the 2nd. 3:30 in the afternoon. That's this coming Monday. We're going to have a celebration of life. This is celebration of life for all those that we've lost during 2025. So this is the annual celebration of life service. This is a joint effort. So I've got several of the residents along with staff members participating in this. It'll be, I think, a good afternoon together. And so I encourage you to be a part of that. Join us at 3:30 on Monday. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to me, or if you have questions right now, I can try to answer those for you.
About how long will it be? Only because we can not have bingo that night, because I know they're going to be, if it's from 3:30 to 5, they're going to be rushing around trying to fix things.
Not going to be, I'm trying to keep it to a maximum of 60 minutes. So 3:30 to 4:30. Yep. You're
Okay,
welcome.
thanks, Chris.
Yep.
Okay, and then I just wanted to feature a couple things that are coming our way in February. Stan is offering acrylic painting classes on the 5th, 12th, 19th, and 26th in the art room from 10 to noon. We also have Mary Lou, who is doing a jewelry workshop on February 5th, and there's a $5 material fee in the bistro, and that's at 10 a.m. So please join Mary Lou. We also have Mardi Gras mass decorating with Mary Lou on Thursday, February 12th at noon. And there is a fee, right, for that? Is there? You haven't decided. Okay. Probably not. Okay. So please come, 10 a.m., February 12th. Okay, and then there's a new activity called How Did I Get Here? It begins Sunday, February 15th, 2:30 p.m. in the winery, and that's a long journey from kindergarten with cookies and milk. And that is our new resident, correct? And she is, Muriel Scher is her name, and she's our new resident. She is a practicing psychologist, but I promise she won't practice on you. She's there just to help you enjoy a new activity. So please join her on Sunday, February 15th. And then we have Ashley Cooper. He's coming Tuesday, February 17th at 7:30 p.m. And I was curious, farewell, is that because his season's over, or is that the last time he's coming? Oh, nice. Okay, so to know Ashley is to love Ashley, but this is his last concert with us. So please join us and wish him all the best as well. On February 19th at 11 a.m., we are having a special meeting in this room to talk about the home services, which is essentially private duty aid services through Axe Home Services. Just generally speaking, that service is being brought in-house. So they'll actually have an office here on campus across from the primary care office. So they'll be moving here. And then Melissa Palhano, who is our administrator of Willowbrook Court, she will be overseeing the program. So she'll have nurses as well, but she will be ultimately overseeing the program. So a lot of changes with home services, and we want to fill in the gaps and give you more information. So please come on February 19th at 11 a.m. And then, of course, this is not the greatest picture, but that's Darren with his great smile. But we want to just give him a fond farewell. As all of you know, he is going to move over to St. Andrew's Estates. He's going to serve in a new role there, and he will be the executive chef manager at St. Andrew's Estates. And this change follows a recent retirement of Virginia Ohanian, who served as the culinary director on the north side of the campus. She was there almost 40 years. So she retired, and when she retired, it was decided to mesh both sides as one department, but they needed a strong partnership to do so, and it was identified that Darren would be able to help bridge the two sides of the campus to make it one department. So with that, obviously, we will have a vacancy. His last day is Monday, and we're going to have hors d'oeuvres in the lobby right before dinner. So please come, say goodbye, thank him for the 7 years that he's been here as a director. He's been with the company 18 years, and but he has served Edgewater along the way, but most recently 7 years as a director. And so we want to wish him well. He probably will come back at some point. You know, people move around, and but we will see him, I'm sure, in our journey. But we want to wish him the best. During that transition, Jonathan Pinsker, our regional culinary director, who you all know, will be here. So he's going to oversee culinary until we have a replacement. We've already started interviewing. Jonathan and I will be interviewing 3 candidates between tomorrow and Monday, and then we have additional candidates that we'll be interviewing as well. So we hope to identify a replacement quickly, and then once we do, we'll make sure to include you and announce that as well. Any questions about Darren's departure or the department? Paul, I think he has a question.
Back to a different subject.
Oh.
I apologize.
Let's hold that until the very end, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Okay, only because I only have 4 more slides, and then I'll open it up. Okay. All right, so speaking of other opportunities, and this is a terrible picture too, so I really have to get better pictures. This is Ross, who we all know and love. He is going to be helping out at Indian River, similar to what he did with Meese Life. If you'll recall, in 2025, Ross went over to Meese Life 3 days a week and served as their general manager. Well, at Indian River, the general manager is out on a leave of absence, so George Bryan asked if Ross could help, and we gladly said yes, even though we know that that creates a little bit of a strain because he's not here and we rely so much on him. But Caesar does a great job, and we are just looking forward to Ross being able to assist Indian River during this time. He will split his time like he did at Meese Life. He'll be here Monday and Fridays, and then he'll be at Indian River Tuesday through Thursday. So we'll still see Ross. He'll still be overseeing our plant operations, but he is valued, and we know that he'll do a great job at Indian River, offering them assistance until their general manager returns, or if it's a longer period of time, then I'm sure he won't be there forever. But we will share as we go along. And we do have a new security supervisor who starts tomorrow. His name is Joe Zubrenik. Am I saying that correctly? And he joins our team tomorrow. You'll see him tomorrow during the day. If you see someone with Susan Bradley or Ross, it's likely Joe. Please stop and introduce yourself and welcome Joe. Joe is a retired police officer. He served in Gary, Indiana as an officer. But he's really not retirement age. As you know, many public servant positions retire younger because they're able to do so based on their benefits. So Joe is still working full-time, and he will join us. His hours will be 4 to midnight, and he'll be likely at the front desk a lot of times during dinner. So please stop and say hello to him, welcome him, and I think he's going to be a great addition to our campus.
That's also a terrible picture of Joe.
That is a bad picture of Joe. So I try to make my slides interesting, and I did not have a good picture, obviously. So I went on the web and cut and pasted that picture. Thanks for pointing that out,
You're welcome.
Chaplain. I'm going to actually officially make Chris my assistant for this meeting so he can help me. No, I'm kidding. Yes.
Being in the construction business for 50 years, there's a transition, there's a rubber mat that could be used for the bringing in and taking out of mechanical equipment to relieve the pressure on the tile. It's a little rubber mat. Make sure that it has transition pieces so that people don't trip on it, and you can use that and require the vendors, whoever come in, to go somewhere to pick up the mat. You're saying it's our responsibility, so we could buy it, we can put it in a place for them to access it, and then use it to save our tile and save the cost of a replacement.
Okay, very good. And that area where the tile's broken, they're no longer coming through there, just for informational purposes. So they're back at the loading dock. So the last slide essentially is our occupancy. I always try to leave you with our statistics. We're currently 94.3% occupied. And if you add those committed and selected apartments where they haven't moved in yet, the residents haven't moved in yet, we're actually 98.73%. And we only have 4 apartments available right now for sale, 2 2-bedrooms and 2 1-bedrooms. And anyone care to guess which building all 4 are in? Not C, A. So all 4 of those apartments are located in A building. So if you live in A and you have a friend that you want to move in, please refer them to our sales office. All right, with that, I know we've been here for a full hour, so I'd like to open the meeting up to any quick topics you'd like to discuss. Mary Lou?
Yeah, Susan, some upcoming culinary events that have been already planned with Darren. All right, on Friday, February 13th, we are having Valentine's Eve with special menu.
Okay.
No upcharge. On February 17th, it's a Tuesday, we're having Mardi Gras with a special menu. We encourage people to wear masks and or costumes. And the dining room will be decorated appropriately for both occasions. And on March the 3rd, there will be celebrating Chinese Lantern Festival, which is the end of Chinese New Year, with the same action station that we had last year when we did that. So that'll be buffet style using the Wheaton Room for the action stations. And again, for Mardi Gras and for Valentine's, it would be similar to birthday night, 2 seatings. I don't know how we're doing Chinese New Year yet. We haven't figured that one out yet. Obviously, St. Patrick's Day is March 17th. Passover Seder would be April 2nd, which is a Wednesday. Easter and Mother's Day and Father's Day will be special buffets on Sunday.
Great. Perfect. Thank you, Mary Lou. A lot of good things with culinary coming up. Thank you.
Yes.
We have a mic.
Madam Director, my name is David, and I live in Building A. I'm on my 3rd month of my voyage here at the cruise ship on land, and I have a couple brief observations. First of all, this is my first attendance at this, and I'm very impressed. A couple of things, though. I noticed on the hull of the ship, particularly Building A, there's a couple dings. I live on the penthouse level on 5 on the north side, and right below there appears to be something missing from the outside fascia of the units. I don't know if that's metal that's going to be put up there or if it's just, in the midst of construction. Number one, a minor thing, because this is still a beautiful, beautiful ship. However, on the top, above the penthouse level, there's some barreled tile around on the facade. It appears to be needing some pressure cleaning, and I wondered if there is a long-term project to pressure clean. With that said, I really am enjoying my voyage here, and could you comment on any of those
I
items?
would be happy to. And by the way, you can call me Susan. Feel free to be very informal with me. Thank you. I appreciate that. But I'm a very casual person, and I love for you to call me by my first name. You don't have to be official with me, okay? Thank you. So that's number one. Number two is Ross is in the back of the room, and we'll take a look from the outside below your apartment and see what's missing, and I can give you a call. Off the top of my head, I don't know if it's a patio that we're enclosing. I'm not sure, so I'll call you with that. And then the tile roofs are looking really bad. I know St. Andrews cleaned theirs a number of years ago, and it was like $60,000 to clean them. So we have to look at how can we do that and make it cost effective, because it is very pricey to clean them because of where they are. If they were on second floor, it's not so hard to get to them. But we'll look at some options because they are looking pretty bad right now. Thank you. Thank you.
Susan, a lot of residents have noticed that the lighting in the dining room is changing. Their lights are not completely lit. They've been going.
They're flickering or, okay.
Are you aware of it?
Okay, we'll take a look at that. Thank you, Roz.
Many of them, they're half lit.
Okay. The round ones you're talking about. Okay. Okay. I think they are chandeliers, modern chandeliers. But we'll take a look. Thank you. Okay, last comment or question?
Okay, last comment. The entrance to the B building, at night, there's an area that's pretty dark and can be a little dangerous for somebody walking. And I think it needs another light in the area.
Okay. Is it close to the sidewalk as you come up to the main sidewalk, or?
As you exit the building, it curves, and there's a dark area in the area of the curve. And I think just another light would really help.
Okay. Very good. Thank you. All right. Well, thanks so much for spending a little over an hour with me today. And I hope you enjoy your afternoon and hopefully stay warm. We're going to have a lot of cold weather coming our way. Thank you.